sea and servers, under fire. Iran, escalates. War with ship attacks and cloud threats, from cyberspace to the Strait. Internet warfare and the Hormuz attack rattle the world.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Maz Reporter. The war in the Middle East has entered a dangerous new chapter, and this time, it's not just about bombs, soldiers, or missiles in the sky. The battlefield is expanding into places most people never imagined would be part of a war: the internet, global shipping routes, and the digital systems that power everyday life. What's happening right now could affect oil prices, banking systems, online services, and even the apps you use daily. This is no longer a distant conflict. This war is starting to touch the modern world at its core.
Today, we're diving into a story that's shaking the world. Let's break it down, simply and clearly. Near the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important shipping routes on Earth, 3 commercial vessels, the Mayure Nari, Star Gwyneth, and One Majesty, were struck in suspected Iranian missile attacks. The damage was severe. One ship had to be abandoned completely. 3 crew members were still missing, and shipping companies immediately pulled back. As a result, nearly 90% of shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz stopped.
That matters because this narrow stretch of water carries around 1/5 of the world's oil supply. When ships stop moving here, energy markets panic, oil prices rise, fuel becomes more expensive, transportation costs go up, and eventually consumers everywhere feel it, at the gas pump, at the grocery store, and in higher prices for everyday goods.
But the attacks at sea were only part of the story. Just days later, Iran made a move that shocked the world. Through the Tasnim news agency, closely linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard, Iran released a list of nearly 30 facilities belonging to major American technology companies, declaring them potential targets.
This wasn't about military bases. This was about data centers, cloud servers, research labs, and tech offices. The list reportedly includes facilities connected to companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA, IBM, Oracle, and Palantir. These sites are spread across Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Bahrain, countries that have become major hubs for global technology and digital infrastructure.
Iran described this as part of an expanding infrastructure war. In simple terms, Iran is saying this: war is no longer just about soldiers and weapons. It's about the systems that keep economies running: servers, data, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and finance.
And that's where things get especially alarming. Just days before Iran released this list, reports emerged that Iranian drones struck facilities connected to Amazon Web Services in Bahrain and the UAE. These weren't symbolic hits. They caused real disruptions. Cloud services went offline. Banking systems experienced outages. Delivery apps stopped working. Business software failed across parts of the region.
For many people, this was the first time they saw how fragile the digital world really is. Most of us think of the internet as something invisible and permanent. But behind every app, every payment, every message, there are physical servers sitting in real buildings. When those buildings are damaged, entire digital systems can collapse.
One stripe on a data center can ripple across countries. In response to these threats, major tech companies acted quickly. Some offices were closed. Employees were told to work remotely. Access to certain facilities was restricted. Reports indicate that companies like NVIDIA took immediate steps to reduce physical risk to staff.
This wasn't panic. It was a precaution. Iran argues that many of these technologies, especially cloud computing and artificial intelligence, are used to support military and intelligence operations linked to the United States and Israel. Because of that, Iranian officials claim these facilities are no longer neutral civilian infrastructure.
That argument marks a major shift in how wars are fought. At the same time, the conflict spilled into the financial world. After reports of an American airstrike on a bank SEPA administrative building in Tehran on March 10th, an attack that reportedly killed several employees, Iran issued new warnings. Iranian military officials threatened to target U.S. and Israeli banking and economic interest across the Middle East and advised civilians to stay at least 1 kilometer away from those institutions.
That warning had immediate consequences. In financial hubs like Dubai and Qatar, major international banks, including HSBC, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs, began evacuating staff or temporarily closing branches. Security was increased across business districts. Some office towers were partially cleared.
This raised a chilling question. Is the war now moving into busy urban centers where ordinary people work every day? Meanwhile, political messaging continued to clash with reality. U.S. President Donald Trump publicly declared that American forces had significantly weakened Iran's military capabilities. But within hours of those statements, new ship attacks near the Strait of Hormuz were reported.
The contrast was stark. One moment, leaders spoke of success. The next moment, the world watched shipping lanes shut down and global markets react. Experts say this is a textbook example of hybrid warfare, a modern form of conflict that blends traditional military force with cyber attacks, economic pressure, drone strikes, and attacks on infrastructure.
In hybrid war, the goal isn't just to defeat an army. It's to disrupt daily life, create uncertainty, and apply pressure far beyond the battlefield. If attacks on data centers and cloud infrastructure continue, the consequences could reach every corner of the world.
These systems support global banking, artificial intelligence research, logistics networks, healthcare platforms, and government services. A major outage doesn't just inconvenience people, it can freeze economies.
The global response? That's why governments around the world are paying close attention. In a historic move, 32 countries through the International Energy Agency authorized the release of 400 million barrels from emergency oil reserves, the largest such action ever, to stabilize markets and blunt the economic shock.
An extraordinary step and a sign of how serious the situation has become. This moment marks a turning point. The internet, once seen as a neutral space, has now become part of the battlefield. Data centers are being discussed the same way oil refineries and ports once were. Cloud servers are now strategic assets.
For everyday people, this war may feel far away, but its effects are already here. Higher prices, unstable markets, disrupted services, and growing uncertainty. The internet isn't just entertainment anymore. It's infrastructure, as vital as oil pipelines, shipping lanes, or power grids. When servers burn alongside ships, the whole world feels the heat. The big question now is this. As tensions climb, diplomacy hangs by a thread. Governments, tech firms, and international bodies watch every move. Can talks pull us back from the brink? Or will the digital backbone of our economy become the next front line?
This is no longer just a regional conflict. It's a wake-up call. In 2026, war at sea and war in the cloud can threaten us all. If this video opened your eyes to how interconnected and vulnerable our world really is, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into breaking global events. Drop a comment. Do you think tech infrastructure should be off limits in war? Or is everything fair game now? Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.